Foundations: 12 Biblical Truths to Shape a Family. Foundation 10. Think of others as God does. Image-bearing souls. From now on, therefore, we regard no one according to the flesh. Even though we once regarded Christ according to the flesh, we regard him thus no longer. 2 Corinthians 5, verse 16. Day 1. Unlike the other animals. Going to the zoo is a bit like taking a trip around the world. Lions from Africa, tigers from Asia, and snakes from all over, just to name a few of the creatures you'll find. The zoo is a great place to learn about animals and their behaviors. Perhaps you've seen an elephant, massive as it is, nimbly pick up the smallest piece of grass with its trunk. Or maybe you've exchanged glances with a golden tamarin as he hangs upside down by his tail. Then there's the feeding time for the seals. It is a marvel to watch these mammals cut through the water like fur-coated torpedoes, pop up on rocks, and gobble down whole fish. But there are some things you won't see at the zoo. You won't see a zebra praying over his meal. You won't see the meerkats decorating their cages. And you certainly won't be able to have a conversation with a camel. Only one creature does these things, and it is you. We share a lot in common with other animals because we share the same environment, but we differ in some very significant ways. God tells us in Genesis 1 verse 27 that he made man in his own image. In the image of God, he created him. Male and female, he created them. No other created thing was made in God's image, and it was only humans who walked with and learned from God in the Garden of Eden. From beginning to end, the Bible teaches that God created us and wanted to know each of us in a personal and eternal way. John's Gospel tells us, "This is eternal life, that they know you, the only true God, and Jesus Christ, whom you have sent." John 17, verse 3. Here is the fullness of God's plan in creating us in his image. He wanted us to know him personally and relationally in a way that no other creature ever could. Though sin had marred the image of God in our lives, robbing us of the perfect fellowship humans were created to have with God the Father, Jesus' life, death, and resurrection restores that image and reunites us to God. All of the things that we can remember about ourselves and others, nothing compares to being image bearers, made to know and glorify God. When we view others through that lens, we begin seeing who they were always meant to be. To dwell on. Each person is made to have a personal relationship with God. To discuss. How are human beings different from other animals? How would remembering other people were created for a relationship with God change the way you treat them? To memorize. From now on, therefore, we regard no one according to the flesh. Even though we once regarded Christ according to the flesh, we regard him thus no longer. 2 Corinthians 5, verse 16.